South Carolina's tourism board calls Charleston the city where history lives. It is an accurate geographic description. Walking these streets means navigating layers of colonial and antebellum history that exist side by side rather than buried underground. A single block might contain a tavern that served pirates like Stede Bonnet, an antebellum mansion, and a Civil War battery. In Charleston, the Gothic folklore and the military record share the same sidewalk. The volume of landmarks packed into this peninsula creates a unique problem. The map is so crowded that a visitor can easily lose their sense of direction. Success here depends on how you spend your vacation capital, the finite mix of time, budget, and physical endurance needed to survive the humid southern heat. Checking every marker on the map leads to exhaustion by day 2. Conversely, wandering without a plan means walking past world-class history without realizing what you're looking at. Travelers must filter this density. Without a specific strategy to choose what to ignore, the weight of the city's past creates itinerary paralysis. Solving this starts by understanding a central trade-off. On one side, you have atmospheric autonomy. This is the self-guided, free-form exploration that lets you absorb the city on your own schedule. It is laying under the shade trees at White Point Garden. It is catching a breeze off the harbor and moving slowly past the waterfront homes without a tour guide checking their watch. On the exact opposite side of the spectrum, you have curated narrative. These are the paid, strictly scheduled guided tours that provide the verified historical context. To understand why you might need this, look at this building. Without a guide, you might walk past the old powder magazine and assume it is just a quaint, crumbling shed, missing its role as a critical military storehouse. To optimize your trip, you have to actively choose between these two approaches, the absolute freedom to wander or the guaranteed payoff of learning the deep lore. Let's map this using the Charleston itinerary matrix. First, curated expeditions. The input is heavy, allocating rigid blocks and paying premium prices. The outcome? High-yield narrative, like pirate details and old jail access. The trade-off is surrendering flexibility to match a group's pace. You are directly buying historical density and paying for it with your personal freedom. The second strategy is atmospheric DIY. The input requires intensive pre-trip research, exertion in summer heat, and managing transport. The outcome is total autonomy and zero financial cost, letting you absorb the city's authentic feel at a comfortable, lazy pace. That autonomy pays off when you can casually drive out to Sullivan's Island and walk the exact beaches where American literary history was made. Edgar Allan Poe collected seashells on those beaches while stationed at Fort Moultrie, inspiring his story, The Gold Bug, an experience completely free of charge. The critical trade-off is the risk of historical blind spots. You might stare at a beautiful 18th century art gallery, unaware that you are looking at the Pink House, a former brothel that catered to pirates. DIY exploration provides the highest level of authentic ambience, but it shifts the entire burden of finding the historical context squarely onto your shoulders. The final tier is 24/7 immersion. The input is a significant financial barrier, and booking rooms months in advance. The outcome is seamless integration, sleeping in haunted rooms like the Battery Carriage House, and drinking in environments steeped in local lore. You tap into the vibrant, lived-in history of the city. You can feel the Prohibition-era energy in places like the Blind Tiger, connecting to the lively culture that gave us the Charleston dance craze. The trade-off, beyond the sheer cost, is practical. Staying in 19th century architecture usually means sacrificing modern hotel amenities and square footage. This strategy buys you a completely unified historical aesthetic, but it demands the absolute highest premium of your vacation capital. To definitively solve itinerary paralysis, we use the Charleston allocation protocol. This flowchart builds your plan based strictly on your primary constraint. If your main constraint is money, you are the budget and atmosphere purist. Skip the expensive guided tours and prioritize the free public spaces. Drive out to the islands and explore the historic military ruins on your own. Sites like the Osceola Monument and the exterior of Fort Moultrie offer massive atmospheric depth without costing a dime. If your constraint is time and you want maximum facts, you are the lore and true crime junkie. Outsource your research and aggressively book guided night tours. When you visit complex military sites with deep layers of destruction, like the rubble of Fort Sumter, you need an expert to translate what you are actually looking at. Recognizing your specific traveler profile filters out the wrong choices immediately and eliminates the fear of missing out. But if you want the most balanced approach, we recommend the Complete Optimizer hybrid method. First, allocate the bulk of your financial budget to an immersive stay, like the Battery Carriage House. This secures a 24/7 baseline of history the moment you wake up. During the heat of the day, reclaim your schedule. Rely entirely on slow, free, self-guided walks through the historic neighborhoods for atmospheric immersion. Finally, book exactly one highly restricted, high-yield guided tour, like the Provost Dungeon. This provides the necessary historical gravity without letting a tour company dictate your entire vacation schedule. Explicitly defining your trade-offs and accepting that you simply cannot see everything is the only way to genuinely experience a city where history is still living.